All right. In this walkthrough, I'm going to go through applying or really adding widening and resurfacing features to your corridor in template. Really adding it to your corridor via the template. But so I'm just going to get right into this. Basically, here's this would be your current corridor as is without the resurfacing and widening components. And what I mean by that is I've already brought this up here. So essentially, you would have milling resurfacing, whatever we'll call it. These red lines are your saw cuts, but obviously we are not showing any resurfacing features or milling. It's just all new construction. So I'm going to go through how to update your current template, not losing any of its functionality. If you have barrier wall, guardrail, and all of that. Luckily, we're only going to be really removing the base features here, and then reapplying, reapplying the subtemplates that I've created. So bring up the ITL. So I've kind of already ran through this once, but we'll just go ahead and start over. All right. So we're going to bring in the template for the northbound. That's the one on the right side. Just going to drag this in. That's the current active template in the corridor. It is whatever, new. Now we're going to bring in the more or less customized subtemplate. Still trying to coin a phrase for that, but this will work out. Now, oops. Components working. Let's put them all in. All right, so now we brought all of our templates in that we're going to need to recreate one. So this is the current one. I'm just going to copy this over to here. This is the one that we'll be modifying. So looking at the template, I'm not really interested in all the other stuff. This is the one that Stephen Duva has made. He's got a lot of features in here, and the positive thing about this is that if we do this correctly, none of this gets affected. You don't have to reapply anything else, and do some fixing of how this template functions. So let's take these display point names off for right now. The first thing we're going to do is delete the current base, and that's basically all we really need to do. That you'll need to do to your template, and from there, now we're going to start applying the first part. No matter which one of these you choose within these folders, it requires you having the search features here. All you do is looking at the search feature. This is like the insert point. You're just going to merge this with the the green point in your current template that we just started modifying. These features here are they're just seeking lines. So what they're seeking here, it's not feature definitions horizontal. I use linear horizontal, and it's very similar to feature definition horizontal. The only thing different is you add the feature that you're looking to add to your corridor as you would external references, but then you have to do a target alias at the end, and I'll go through that when we get to it. So let's just move on. Apply. There we go. All right, now we're going to actually go into adding the subtemplates itself. There's a couple I've already developed. There's different ones. I'm not really going to get into it now. If there's questions after this, you see this video, you can post questions in the Teams chat or anything like that, or send me an email and we could talk about it. Or just can you elaborate on this? And yeah, no problem. I'll go back and elaborate on certain parts of these, but I'm not really going to get into how these are all built today. It's not really about template design. It's more of a walkthrough, assuming that this all works and how to just apply it to your corridor, so you don't have to get in the weeds with that stuff. So I'm just going to pick one with no stripping. Basically, if you have a 1-lane road, 2-lane road, 3-lane, 4-lane road, that's the one you would end up bringing in. Obviously, we got 1, 2, 3, and 4. There really is a 5th, but I don't have. That's for an aux lane right now. For all intents and purposes, I can make a 5th one later, but right now I brought it up to 4. So we will go ahead and bring this one in. You don't want to bring this and merge it right away because sometimes there's points that end up merging on top afterwards, and I really want to control. You're going to want to control what gets merged in, and this is somewhat, being. I'll think of a better process to make it more clear and where to put it so it's easier to merge. But essentially, the first ones you'll see all my templates here. If it has a asterisk merge, that means that needs to get out of here. It needs to be merged in with the template that you're merging these subtemplates into. So this is lane line in. These are basically all going to be applied to the bottom pavements, and then you have these steep merge seek, and that's these points right here. This one and the outside one. If I move this over so we can see it. Those just get merged in with the search features you did before. So now we'll continue with moving these. Generally, you like to move them and then merge them all at the end. I don't know, whatever floats your boat, really. All right, now we have all the points needed to be merged. I know there's a gap here. It looks weird, but it's plans. It's just so you could keep things separated. Or if you come back later and a month and you want to kind of split this thing out, it's just another one of those V offsets that you probably have come across before. But this one says specifically widening, and you just got to bring that to 0. We're good with that. Hit file save. Close out. All right. So the next step here, we just need to change up the template. So we'll go ahead with this one. So the next step here is to add the inside and outside milling resurfacing limits. They really are arbitrary, but so I've already kind of created one or limits for this right now. So I'm going to turn off the SGNRD. The saw cut lines. I don't think we really need a lot of this stuff. A lot of it's clutter, but so we're going to go ahead and add these references. COP in test and COP out test. All right, so it's been added. As you see now that these lines kind of went away, it was I've used this file a couple times to first develop this workflow or test it. So I was, too lazy to actually recreate a new one and do it all from scratch. But so right now we just added those references and that just reset everything. So as you see, those search lines aren't being seeked. Even though I applied, added these references, but these are not seeking a feature definition horizontal, like with a horizontally, I guess. It's a linear horizontal. So the extra step you have to do here is going to the corridor and then doing this target alias. And then here's the XEOPN. These were aptly named. EOPN, you can either add it by this way, or one of my favorite ways of doing it really is just clicking on this, and then XEOP out, this one, and then you're going to hit apply. So now it's been applied, close out, and you see that this has changed, and it's really clunky. Here we go. Let me turn off these things. And that. Now I will go through what this template actually looks like and how it really kind of, the functionality of it. So these lines right here could change. So right now I just have a variable offset. So one side is different than the other. But if I just end up moving this one over here, then these lines will change with it. As you see, this is gonna, this one just moved in, this one will also be able to move with this line as well. So this takes a second to process. So essentially each one of these lanes have their own milling or surface components. Come into this, kind of do a quick overview, I suppose. But depending on how these move out, this horizontal, there's a widening component on each side, and then there's a widening on the inside, a milling or surfacing component on the middle, and then there's a second widening component on the right side, and then there's display rules to turn them on and off. And I will make this this folder, these subtemplates, is accessible to you. So if you want to look into how it all works and all that, you could look into display rules, or if you need me to further elaborate, I have no problem doing so. So I'm going to post this one first with very little editing, just to kind of get it out there, and I'll end up going through adding bookmarks and whatever features. But basically, I'm looking for input from anyone who reviews this, what they would like to see to make this more digestible, because there's no reason to do this unless people are reviewing it and they're learning from it. So I'm not, it's my first shot at trying to teach a workflow that I use, and just want to make this a regular habit. So yeah, please, I'm soliciting your comments and advice on how this can be better in the future as I do more workflows. Thank you very much.